Okay, hi everybody. Hope everyone is doing well. Hank Wolff with Sothebys Realty here. And I'm here to interview Katie Lawless, Director of Business Development at Concierge Auctions. And thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Hank.
Of course. Well, Katie and her company work with some of the most affluent people in the United States and in the world. And so she has a very interesting perspective on the economy right now and how it's affecting the luxury real estate market. So I wanted to ask you, with everything that's going on now, how would you describe how COVID-19 is affecting your business right now?
So while, COVID-19 has presented a number of challenges to selling real estate, it's certainly opened up a number of doors and opportunities for concierge auctions to help a lot of our clients during this uncertain time. Typically auctions in general are ideal for a one-of-a-kind and incomparable property. So every market has a threshold in which homes are a little bit more difficult to monetize at certain price points. So generally, a seller will choose to do an auction in conjunction with the traditional model because it allows them to set the timing of the sale. And, a transaction typically through our auction platform takes anywhere from 60 to 90 days. And, in addition to what's happening locally in the market with an agent, our platform does global marketing as well as it provides those sellers direct contact to high net worth individuals within our database who are actively seeking real estate opportunities. So typically our, traditional seller is a little, they're well capitalized and they're not in a distressed situation. Rather, they choose the auction process in order to help them achieve their goals on their timeline. So we're finding now that despite the time of uncertainty, we're continuing to see an increased interest in our platform, with hundreds of inquiries coming through each week. We're achieving excellent prices through our auction models, and we're also having competitive bidding globally. And I think through everything that's going on, it's worth noting that in March, we had about a 100% success rate with our auctions. And those were properties that were in Florida, California, the Hamptons, New York, as well as Malibu and Thailand. So with all of those auctions going on, we're realizing that smart buyers are reallocating their assets and putting their capital into real estate. So, what we're currently predicting at this time at Concierge is that there's going to be some pent-up demand. And I think this not only goes for the luxury end of the real estate spectrum, but kind of across the board. There's going to be some pent-up demand as the stay-at-home orders get lifted as we start to move forward. Plus, also after that, we believe that there's going to be a downward pressure in pricing, considering we don't truly know what the effects are yet of COVID-19 and how it's going to affect the economy until we get through this. But as well as factoring in that this is an election year, so that usually always has an effect on real estate. So for the sellers who are looking to sell sooner rather than later, but also be able to aggregate a market and competition, concierge auctions and a luxury auction format is a great fit for those sellers.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely certainly people out there in properties that are above that threshold, like you said, that every market has. Yeah. And so for your clients, how would you rate their overall consumer confidence right now?
So right now, most of the sellers that we are working with today have a want or a need to sell within a predetermined time frame. And, especially considering all of the market uncertainties, they know that our platform, which is really just an enhancement to what the local broker is already doing, is the best way to accomplish that. And so buyers, pandemic or not, through the auction process in general, buyers have a confidence of purchasing through auction because they know that they're buying a property at the best price possible because it's a fair price and it's achieved through the competition of the auction. But they know that what they're paying is only one bid beyond what the last bidder had placed. So it's a major benefit for buyers. However, it's even more impactful in times like today when property values can be very uncertain.
Yeah, that's an interesting factor. There's a lot more surety to it when it comes to pricing, that this was the value on this day. This is what it's worth.
Right.
And
Whatever someone's willing to pay is what something's worth.
right, absolutely. And with those deals, how much are these transactions in cash, and are people still able to finance these? I've had a number of affluent clients talk to me about how there's pullbacks on jumbo loans and things like that. I mean, some of your properties may even be beyond all that. How is the financing factor looking for you and your clients?
So generally, when we take a property to auction, the terms of the sale are as is, all cash with no contingencies. And we do about a 30-day close. So, that being said, I'd say about 80% of the closings we do have no financing involved whatsoever. But we are starting to hear, from the buyers that they're wanting to incorporate some financing to take advantage of, these very low interest rates we're currently seeing. So for us at Concierge, as long as we have approval that, they're pre-approved for a line of credit or a mortgage, we're perfectly fine with implementing that, just as long as it doesn't hold up the rest of the closing.
Sure. Okay, that makes sense. So it wouldn't be contingent on financing like your average homeowner buying a home, but it would be involved. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So I'm going to get you out on this. One more question for you before I let you go. I appreciate you taking the time. We know, Palm Beach and Miami and the Hamptons and these very affluent places where you work. What are some off the radar places that we don't know that have a growing luxury foothold?
So I think one thing we're going to start to see is, potentially places, truly like Vero Beach, where it is a town and a city that has, many of the same things that people look for in larger cities, but with not as condensed of a population. And the one thing that we're hearing, and you may be hearing it as well, is that a lot of people are looking to be able to get out of these condensed markets with high populations and be able to go somewhere else where they have a little bit more room to roam, and they could potentially, have more space, larger pieces of land. For the people who are currently in New York, while I'm sure they have some, gorgeous properties, that might be in a high rise, square footage, I think, is going to become a little more important as we're all, confined into our homes right now. But I think it's also going to potentially change a way of life for people. And, a lot of what we do at Concierge is predominantly in the second, third, and maybe even fourth home markets, like Vero itself. For many, it's a primary residence, but for a lot of people there, it's seasonal. And, we believe that in markets where people are going to potentially only spend a few months out of the year, now that we're realizing work from home is getting, more popular, and some companies might realize they don't need to have people working in their offices all the time, people might make that second or third home market their primary residence. And one thing that I think has been really unique through our process is, thankfully at Concierge, we've been built out digitally for some time now. And so we've been able to operate really business as usual. And we've done online bidding for the past 3+ years. So it's interesting to see, like I mentioned, we had sold a property in Thailand in March. The bidders from that auction were bidding, in Thailand and Bangkok and Singapore and Hong Kong and the UK, as well as, bidders from Russia. And then in addition to that, we did have some bidders from the US and California and Las Vegas. So, truly kind of speaks to the global audience, but all these people could bid from the comfort of their own homes, given the global pandemic right now.
Sure, absolutely. It's a huge advantage that, it's not like the old days where you had to be in person and everything like that.
Exactly.
You've been doing that for years. Yeah. Cool. Well, I appreciate you noting Vero Beach as a upcoming luxury place. So
I think it's one of the best kept secrets of Florida. So hopefully not everyone runs there, but it is a very special place. Good.
I like to think so. Well, Katie, I appreciate you taking the time to fill me in on your clients and on your business during certainly an unusual economic period. So again, Katie from Concierge Auctions, I appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you so much for reaching out, and I hope you and everyone stay safe.
Yes, absolutely. Stay safe, stay home, and we'll be in touch, okay?
All right. That sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Katie.
Thanks.